Okay, hello me. This is a video that's a little bit interesting, a little out of normal. I'm probably not going to make another one like this again, hopefully ever. Um, basically, if one was to ask how serious am I about YouTube now that I've restarted it and left college, the answer is pretty damn serious. This is one of the several multitude of PowerPoints that I have made in my little PowerPoint collection that basically over shows everything that I've kind of picked up and learned over the last few months, my own little homework, I guess. And it goes everything from like how to make videos to how to make different types of videos like shorts to how audio works and how to use OBS and how to make music and how monetization works and all sorts of things like that. And one of the things that I know about, I didn't make any changes. One of the things that I know about is prototyping. And prototyping is something that I was taught when I was in college. And it basically relates to how to make creative content efficiently as both a producer, designer, and businessman. And basically the way it works is that you start with an idea, and that idea is limited by your resources, your skills, and your knowledge. After that limitation, you end up trying to make the best thing you can, and that best thing you can is your first prototype. That prototype is then released to the public. You get feedback from that release, and then you undergo comparative and SWOT analysis to try to learn from the feedback for your first prototype. And SWOT is a business term. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths being what are you good at? Weaknesses being what are you bad at? Opportunities being how can we do better and avoid risks? And threats being, what's something that you don't want to have happen? How do you prevent weaknesses from occurring? And as you do so, as you do this analysis, you do research. And that research basically leads into the new development of prototype 2. Because remember that this is your information. This is information you get from the basic idea. And then with research, your skills and your knowledge improve. And maybe in some cases, your resources will change as well. And that's how you make prototype 2. And then you do the whole process over and over again to make 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, to basically try to make the best thing you can. So I already made prototype 1. And prototype 1 is the standard issue thing that you see for the Pokemon videos that I have made up to now, right? And the new Pokemon videos have been doing really good. They blew the last Pokemon videos out of the water, I think. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, this series is doing way, way better than Pokemon Sword and Shield, and no reason why it wouldn't. I made a lot of improvements. I have an opening and ending, like you're probably seeing right here. I also found non-copyright music to work with it. Because one of my problems with my limited skills and knowledge was I don't actually know how to make music. Although I did attempt to do it for Leitmotif, at the end of the day, I'm just not a professional. And if I want to be a professional, which I don't, I wouldn't be a professional for quite a while because it takes a lot of practice and dedication and time that I just don't have. But I did make a lot of changes in both editing and production and just overall. We'll switch screens here. Just overall, making my life a lot more efficient. This thing freaking went down again. Making my life a lot more efficient. I have a schedule. The schedule works really well. My work time is from 9 to 3, or 9 to 1 to 9 to 3. Depends on the day. Depends on what I'm doing. Overall, pretty efficient schedule that I have going for myself, and I've been running it pretty well. The problem remains, however, that I don't have a lot of data. And the reason I don't have a lot of data is because I only have 39 subscribers. So when trying to do a comparison of what's working better and what's not working as well, that comparison is greatly limited by the fact that I can't get a lot of feedback. I'm not asking for people to give me feedback. I'm just saying that feedback is something that I naturally get through analytics anyway. And just because I don't have a lot of channel traffic, I don't have a lot of analytic data to work with. So whether or not a change I make actually makes something better or makes something worse is kind of up to my own opinion, unless I have a lot of samples to work data in general, right? And I don't always have a lot of samples to work with, especially since media in general can fluctuate very much. But one thing that I have discovered, and that got me thinking, is that if we look at some of the analytics for these videos, which were basically just like life improvement videos that I had to make out of coincidence, they I guess they count as weekly somethings, but I didn't really intend to make them into weekly somethings. Actually, first I should probably explain what the weekly something is, huh? Okay, so the way my system works is I'll bring back that calendar. The way the system works is that I wanted to produce a video almost every single day, right? I wanted to make a video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I wanted the videos to be different on Saturday than on the rest of the week. And what I mean by different is I wanted the Saturday video to be totally original, have a script, have basically like the best content I can produce within a week. Whereas everything else would just be fluff for people to chew on as they wait for the next video to be made. And that is what episodes are, because episodes are really easy to make. I basically record something for like 5 to 6 hours on Sunday or Monday, and then I spend a bit of time, about as much time, about 5 or 6 hours, editing those videos and just releasing them to the public. Because I did put edits here. I did put an opening and I did put an ending on these videos. It's just that they're pretty minimal. You know, at the end of the day, it's just me playing a video game. And the reason why I did that is because of another YouTuber I follow by the name of Video Game Dunkey. And the thing about Video Game Dunkey is that he makes really, really good videos. I love watching his stuff. However, if you look at his schedule, 4 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, another 4 weeks ago, 1 month ago, he uploads a video about once every 2 to 4 weeks. And, you know, I as you can see from the red bars, I watch these videos pretty religiously. But one of the things that, you know, always gets a fan of content is that they always wish that there was more content, don't they? But sometimes new content is available because it takes a lot of time to make some of these videos for them to be at their maximum quality. And so that's the idea why I came up with the concept of, oh, you're on the wrong camera, aren't you? Oh, well. You don't know, but I just went to Dunkey's channel to show off. But that's why I wanted to make things on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, throughout the week to give people something to chew on. However, if we go, I'll switch the camera back to the front screen. If we go up here, there's this thing called the bell. And the bell is something that subscribed people can do to a channel that lets them be notified when new videos are being made. And it's something that was added to YouTube after I attended college. So this wasn't a thing that existed all the time. It's actually, you know, only a few years old. It's fairly recent. And that was something I didn't consider initially when I was planning out how to make this channel work. And that basically, if I make a video every single day that's shitty, at the end of the day, this is just something to chew on. For new people, for first impressions, I want them to watch the weekly something more than I want them to watch, you know, my episode content. And if you have a notification and the notification just keeps giving you this kind of thing every single day, I imagine that would drive a lot of people crazy and probably discourage them from watching my content. And it made me realize that the people who get away with episodes are people like Markiplier, who have a long who are the OG, who have a long history of making videos in this style. And because they have a long history of making videos in this style, they're kind of expected to make more videos in this style. And you know, the same is also true kind of people like Jesse Cox as well. And so what I realized is that episodes are a good idea if you're trying to introduce like more content for people to chew on. However, that it only really works if you already have a following. And that was one of the problems that I found when I was undergoing the SWOT analysis, and that I can potentially make growth this way by making hour-long YouTube videos that maybe someone will watch. But if you look at my analytics, most of the people don't watch the videos past like the 4-minute mark. 2 to 4 minute mark. The average, I think, is like 220. And again, part of this is limited data. I only have 7 people have looked at my most recent Pokemon videos, and that's because I am a small channel of only a few subscribers. And again, that's one of the things that makes it hard to do this kind of analytics, is that you don't have enough data to go off of. But I was observant enough to make my own decisions. So even though when you release something to the public, you want to wait for like 2 to 3 weeks typically before you start working on the feedback to make changes, I already found problems that needed to be fixed. And so now I have a new prototype. And that new prototype is that we're going to record for 4 to 6 hours twice a week, probably on Monday and Friday. And we're doing that not necessarily because we're going to make episodes, but because I needed to practice for streaming. I'm not streaming just yet, but streaming is something I hope to do in the future. And I'm actually going to cut out episodes entirely. So basically, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is going to stop at episode 3. I have more videos in my editor that are ready to be released, but we're not going to release them because I realize that making episodes is pointless if you don't already have a following. So, because it's like, who the heck am I making content for? So, instead, we're just going to focus on making stuff for the weekly something. I'm also going to focus on making a face, because to be honest, having no face on a video is a huge problem. It means there's a lack of identity. And if I continue to make videos that have no face on them, then the only way I can get around that is to have people focus on something else, which can be done with writing in some cases. But at the end of the day, if I want people to do that kind of Let's Play style, I need to have a face for people to associate with. And I'm not talking about the face of Slivers, although Slivers does do a very good job as my mascot. I just mean that in general, I have to add more to the... I basically just have to have more for people to watch. Because people will watch something like this, right? And they'll just see somebody playing a video game with commentary over it. And that's not super interesting, I don't think. And the people who get away with it either already have a following and people want to see them, or they have a face on the channel, which is very common. Most channels will do that so that people can relate to the person as much as they're relating to the game. Or there's someone like the Game Grumps who basically have like this comedy routine that kind of is on making fun of the game while they're playing it. So they'll do something like the Game Grumps will do something like play Skyward Sword or whatever, and they'll voice over the Link character. And one of the quest givers, Link, might have to talk to, and they make fun of it by basically putting words in his mouth, and that turns into a very entertaining spectacle, in which is actually an advantage to not having a camera. But needless to say, I don't do that. I don't do that because I don't have anybody to bounce those jokes off of because I'm by myself. But I also don't do that because I'm not a comedian. I don't have that mastery of humor just yet. I'm half decent at writing scripts. I'm really good at making thumbnails, and those are basically my best strengths. So the reason why this is being recorded, and the big point about all this, is that I am basically not going to be making episodes anymore. And I think that might be indefinite. Not just after I get a following. I might not make episodes anymore at all. And the reason why is because A, making the weekly something is something that takes priority. B, I need to build up some skill sets, which I'm going to be doing in the spare time that I've spent not making episodes, right? And C, most people who want to break into episode type content will typically be the same type of people who like to watch VODs anyway. So it might be that I just release it as a VOD list, or it might be that somewhere down the line I'll have a separate thing where on my VOD channel, I will also break down the episodes into hour-long pieces that'll have minor editing adjustments to them to make them a little bit more entertaining for people who want to watch it that way, with summaries in between. So at the very least, people can keep up with what I've been doing, even if they want to watch me more often, right? Um, so yeah, that's at the end of the day what this means. So I'm doing my best. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of stuff. I'm picking up a lot of resources. I have a lot of artwork in supply, right? I have a lot of I have a lot of Clip Studio projects that I'm working with. Um, and as you can see, even from the channel itself, I have mentioned that is indeed under construction. And one of the constructions I'm trying to do is make a banner. Because my banner's giving me so much trouble. I've made about 18 different banner styles, and they don't work because they look worse when I put like a cover over them than when I don't. Like I'll give an example. One of the covers I'm working on right now. Let's see. Go to warehouse, go to artwork, go to Clip Studio, go to banner size. Um, so let's see if I can pull it up. So one of the covers that I'm working on right now is this sucker. And frankly, this isn't half bad for a cover, right? It's actually uses proper perspective, although the perspective is hidden. I do have let's see. I do have stop it. I do have some things on here that puts into proper perspective. Like there's actual line work and there's a horizon line and it's 1 point perspective going one way, right? And 2 point perspective going left and right. So it focuses on the center. Problem is, when you put this and this on it, it looks very different, doesn't it? It looks very different. And suddenly it's a lot less impressive and suddenly it's a lot shittier. So I didn't consider the window box thing before when I was making the other models. Um, so this one's not half bad, I guess. If we put this in a box, if you put that in this style box, it doesn't look that bad. But if you put it in this style box, it looks pretty shitty. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. I now understand the proper dimensions for like making something like this. It's just I have to keep in mind that this thing's going to shrink a lot. And so what I think I have to do, what I think I should do for good design is I should probably do not save. I should probably just make it as like a foreground, middle ground, background sort of thing with very flat imagery. So flat that like by itself it already looks good if it's just an individual layer you're looking at. But when I add the next layer on top, it just looks better. Instead of trying to do something complicated like perspective, because it's just not working. Depending on whether you're looking at this through a phone or through a computer or through a TV, this thing can get very fucked up very quickly. So, which is something I discovered. So, that's 18 ones through. I'm gonna have to make another 9 because I typically do 9 when I'm doing like 9 individual pieces when I'm doing brainstorming, right? Actually, I could probably show those 9 individual pieces since we're on the subject. It's an interesting subject, I think. Let's see. Where do I have the thumbnails? Do I have the thumbnails here? I should. Take a look. Those are the re-roughs. Hide this and then shrink it. Then that and then oh yeah, this one. Again, totally botched when you put the stinking bar on it. Um this one kind of works. It's just that it cuts out a lot. It kind of works. I can do better. So I have the designs. There we go. So these are some designs I thought up of initially. You had like Slivers as like the whole background, and then you had the dragon, and then you had lazing about with slimes doing stuff, and then you had a loading screen, a comic book, sword, which you saw partially finished up above, past, present, future, the quest board, which ended up being the quest board actually ended up falling apart a little bit, but I must confess, even though the quest board didn't do so well, the board itself looks freaking awesome. Look at this. Look how neat that is. I have like quest stuff here. Slivers is on there. I have like the different types of media I could be on. Although I probably won't join TikTok. I should probably take TikTok off. But I had a lot of ideas for that. Let's see. So we'll kill that. And then Oops, kill that. And then this is the original one that I had to get rid of because I didn't realize the dimensions were a thing to begin with. So falling slivers, slime's doing stuff, just a mix of me doing things that I do, like drawing or opening stuff or falling through portals. The original lazy plan, but like more clustered together. Like a kind of this abstract thing where you have like a bunch of little moments all put into one. I'm like falling through, kind of like the Ratchet and Clank in time thing. Loading screen again, comic book again. This comic book's hilarious. I love the comic book idea so much. I just couldn't figure out a way to make it fit. Because basically when I try to fit it into like the tiny screen, it just made all the images like too small. Right? Like there would be that across the board. And if it's all the way on the top, it might be a little bit tiny. And then again, a different type of Sliver's face. And then the original of this, and then the quest board done slightly differently. But now I'm thinking that I gotta redo it entirely. So that's what I've been up to. If you've been wondering what I've been doing, that's what I've been up to. But yeah, basically, Pokemon Diamond has been not discontinued. I'm still gonna play the game. I'm still gonna record it, but I'm not making any more episodes. This is the stop of the episodes. It stops episode 3, and the last video I'll throw up for Pokemon will probably be like a supercut, right? And then from there, I'll post something once a week that's like really good content. And then I'm doing that in the background. I'm going to be making art assets. And the art assets I'm going to be making is, of course, the banner image, but it's also going to be things like a model, a 3D model, which I first have to draft a concept for. I haven't even gotten that far yet because I'm still working on this freaking banner. But 3D model, as in like I'm thinking about becoming a VTuber because I've been playing around with that idea for a while, and I find motion capture technology very interesting. Plus, I am an animator and a 3D modeler, so it kind of makes sense that I would go that route since I can work on whatever I want once I make the model myself. Anyway, but I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to do. So that's it. That's the point of all this. This is just an update on to myself as a turning point in my YouTube career, that I'm basically changing from this format into Prototype 2, and that episodes aren't going to be around anymore. So again, I don't expect anybody to be watching this, but if you did, hope this provided you with some insight as what a new YouTuber thinks about when he's trying to make a YouTube channel work. That's kind of the whole point of the Level Up series, is to show people how I grow, right? Because I think that's just an interesting concept to have like your own bibliography. And look forward to more interesting stuff like this and more interesting stuff in general. Yeah, videos will come out a bit slower, but they'll pick up again once I get art assets drawn. And I think Saturday would be a good time to post everything. So I'll make Saturday the due date for all the stuff I make. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. And I'll see you in the next thing I make, whatever that is. Bye-bye.